How do you even use this thing? Oh, okay. In late June 2025, a lion known as Blondie sent his final GPS ping from the edge of Zimbabwe's Hwenge National Park. He'd been fitted with a collar by Oxford University's Wild Conservation Research Unit, sponsored by Africa Geographic, to safeguard him and deepen our understanding of lion movements. Blondie was collared on April 13th, 2025. The device tracked his range to prevent human-wildlife conflicts and fuel long-term conservation strategies across Hwange's sprawling landscape. Though he lived inside a photographic concession free from hunts, Blondie, just over 5 years old and below Zimbabwe's 6-year legal threshold, was lured over weeks into an adjacent hunting zone. During the week of June 29th, 2025, he was shot under a legal permit in the Gwai Sikumi forest area, where authorities allow up to 100 lions annually. Oh my God. Simon Espley, CEO of Africa Geographic, responded bluntly that Blondie's prominent collar did not prevent him from being offered to a hunting client, confirms the stark reality that no lion is safe from trophy hunts. Blondie ruled over 3 adult females and 10 cubs. With him gone, rival males will invade. They often commit infanticide to bring lionesses back into estrus, jeopardizing the survival of the young cubs and fracturing the pride's social fabric. A decade after Cecil's killing sparked worldwide outrage, Blondie's death forces us to ask again, can ethical conservation and paid hunts ever align? Or do stories like this prove research collars and permits alone can't shield the subjects of our study? Blondie's last signal wasn't just broken telemetry, it was a call to conscience, a reminder that true conservation demands vigilance, integrity, and the courage to defend those who cannot defend themselves. Last week, we discovered and talked about bioluminescence in the ocean. Tonight, we broadcast from 300 fathoms beneath sanity, because someone, somewhere, thought injecting radioactive isotopes into rhino horns might just fix poaching. Not satire, not sci-fi. Actual policy. The Rhisotope Project aims to make horn smuggling light up like a disco at border checkpoints, allegedly safe for the rhino, allegedly terrifying for the trafficker, allegedly common sense if you squint hard enough through the kaleidoscope of desperation. So let's break it down. We've now entered a realm where protecting endangered wildlife involves radiation. Welcome to 2025, where conservation moonlights as low-yield weapon deployment. And let's be real, if the consumer can believe horn dust cures their soul, they're not likely to ask about isotope half-lives. Side effects include glow-in-the-dark intestines and customs seizures. This innovation is bold, but we've got to ask, are we mitigating harm or externalizing it to a glowing blacklist of unintended consequences? What happens when the horn's cut, dumped, or powdered into boutique elixirs? Are we now measuring moral victories in microsieverts? Somewhere, someone filed this under brilliant. I file it under when biology meets bad meetings. The rhino never asked to become a Geiger counter. This isn't conservation's final form. It's just a radioactive pit stop on the highway to sanity. Let's hope we hit restore ecosystems before mutate species. Tonight's headline isn't Octopus injures child, it's System misjudges sentient mollusk. Let's not villainize the creature whose instincts were as natural as the tides. Cthulhu, down in San Antonio, wasn't being aggressive. He was being curious. For an octopus, tactile exploration is survival, not aggression. Suction cups aren't weapons, they're sensors. Octopuses process the world through touch. They're problem solvers, escape artists, and emotional barometers. Putting one in an open tank is like dropping Einstein into a bouncy castle and inviting toddlers to poke him. Cthulhu was senescent, near the end of his life cycle. That means reduced capacity for stress regulation. The bruises left on little Leo, unintentional. The consequences, entirely human-made. It's not enough to ask, was this safe? We must ask, was this fair? Fair to the animal, fair to the child, and fair to the truth. Interaction doesn't equal enrichment. Accessibility doesn't equal responsibility. So what do? We learn, we adjust, and we stop treating living things as features and start designing exhibits that honor their nature. And maybe next time, the only ink spilled will be in our notebooks. On June 19th, 2025, SeaWorld San Antonio announced the death of Camilla, an 11-year-old orca born in captivity. She was the youngest in her pod, a playful spirit known for her acrobatic breaches and gentle interactions with trainers. Her death, attributed vaguely to an undisclosed illness, marked the 45th orca death across SeaWorld parks. Do you remember your first visit to a marine park? What emotions did you feel watching these animals perform? Joy? Wonder? Did you ever wonder what life was like for them after the show? Orcas in the wild are apex predators, swimming up to 100 miles a day, diving hundreds of feet, and living in tight-knit family pods. In captivity, they are confined to tanks that, well, by comparison, are the size of bathtubs. The psychological toll for them is immense. Veterinary records and whistleblower accounts reveal that captive orcas are often administered antibiotics, sedatives, and even psychotropic drugs to manage stress-induced behaviors. Many suffer from tooth damage because of this, requiring painful drilling procedures due to gnawing on tank walls out of sheer boredom and frustration. Camilla's death fits the pattern. Young orcas born into captivity dying from illnesses rarely seen in wild populations. Her mother, Takara, and sister Sakari remain at the park grieving in silence. So who bears the blame? SeaWorld has long defended its practices, citing its veterinary care and conservation efforts. But critics argue that no amount of care can compensate for the unnatural conditions of captivity. The 2013 documentary Blackfish exposed the story of Tilikum, an orca involved in the deaths of 3 people, including their trainer Don B. The film ignited global backlash, leading to SeaWorld's 2016 decision to end its orca breeding program and phase out theatrical shows. Yet the orcas already in captivity, like Camilla, were left behind. What do you think? Should companies be allowed to profit from animals born into captivity, even after public sentiment has shifted? What responsibility do we, as visitors, bear? So what's being done, and is it enough? SeaWorld's reforms have been incremental. The breeding program is over. The shows are now educational presentations, but the orcas remain. Animal rights groups like PETA and marine biologists such as Dr. Ingrid Visser are calling for the creation of seaside sanctuaries, protected ocean coves where captive orcas can live out their lives with more space, natural stimuli, and dignity. So far, SeaWorld has resisted. Critics say the company fears the financial and logistical challenge of such a transition, but public pressure is mounting. Camilla's death has reignited the debate. Social media is ablaze with grief and outrage. Hashtags like Justice for Camilla and Empty the Tanks are trending. Even former SeaWorld trainers have spoken out, describing the emotional toll of watching these intelligent beings deteriorate. Meanwhile, ethical whale-watching tours in places like Tarifa, Spain are gaining popularity, offering a glimpse of orcas in their natural habitat. Do you want to help? Consider supporting organizations that advocate for marine mammal sanctuaries. Or if you've visited SeaWorld, write to them. Ask for transparency and ask for change. Kamia's story is not about just one orca. It's about a system that has prioritized spectacle over science, profit over compassion. But it's also about a growing movement, one that believes in the ocean, not a tank. It's where orcas belong. As we remember Camilla, we must ask ourselves, what kind of legacy do we want to leave for the next generation of ocean stewards? Thank you all for being with me. We look forward to seeing you next time, next week, right here on the Aquatic News Network, where we bring the stories of the water to life.